I gotta enjoy these cold weather temperatures while I can. But you gotta enjoy Trap House while you can because it's now on Netflix. What's up and welcome back. I'm John Starr from MakeTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic. And I just reviewed a film that I didn't even know existed. It stars Dave Bautista, Bobby Cannavale, and Jack Champion. What has happened to Dave Bautista's career? Uh, you know, Critical Drinker does that. What is it? Crash and burn. Uh, I he would never do it for Dave because all of his choices are like for political reasons. Um, but what is going on with Dave Bautista's career? Like in the Lost Lands, Afterburn, like this movie. Dave used to be someone who really wanted to work with like the top directors and was actually doing a really good job of attracting people like Sam Mendes and Denis Villeneuve to his roster. I mean, he was in Dune. You know what I'm saying? Like and somehow he's just getting offered like movies that Jason Statham turned down. Like he's in these movies now where it's just like I don't know. Couldn't somebody else have done this? I thought he was gonna be sort of like the highbrow action star. Like the muscle man for the for the letterbox generation, but films like this just make me think like he's just either he's not getting the offers, so he's taking whatever comes his way so that he just stays in the public conscious without thinking, but if I do these films, doesn't it kind of water down my presence, my ability to anchor other films that might come along my way and be better than this? Luckily, he does have Bobby Cannavale here, who I love, who also could be using better work. So this is kind of just like a piece where it's like, can we find these guys more work to do, please? Jack Champion, I can't picture him really, but apparently he's been around since like Divergent. So he's only 21. I don't know what he was in the Divergent series, but I guess he was in the Divergent series. He must have been like a little kid. And he so Trap House has audio description on Netflix, which was one of the deciding factors in me watching it. And Netflix has dialed back their like weekly releases, so Trap House instantly shot to like number one. They're like, hey guys, we don't have a new movie, but we found this Dave Bautista movie for you. How's that count? And Netflix responded their audience resoundingly with, that'll do. That'll do, pig. So Batista plays a DEA agent who is off, trying to secure and stop this drug running people ganger. That is a terrible description of it. Drug running, these drug running people, drug runners. When one of the members of his team is killed in a scene where he keeps trying to give like CPR to somebody who was shot in a way that I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't. The chest compressions is not gonna help in that situation. But by God, it's having to show that Dave Bautista is trying. So and then we cut and we see these teenagers. They all go to high school together. They're like, I don't know, like the Young Avengers or something like that. And one of the gang was, it was his father was the one that was killed. And it turns out that like all of the DE agents that all roll together all have kids and they all like hang out together. So there's like the DEA agents and then there's the DEA agents' kids. So the kids get wind of this trap house thing, and basically because one of their friends, their dad was killed, and sort of like unceremoniously now he's left with, without a dad, and like who's gonna take care of their family, and I guess the need for money they decide to go raid trap houses and use what little knowledge they think they've picked up from being in proximity to their DEA agent parents to go raid trap houses, which catches the eye of the drug running family, which is run by the guy that played Lola Salamanca in Breaking Bad. And they, of course, run into trouble, and Dad and Bobby Cannavale, Dave Bautista and Bobby Cannavale, and the rest of the agents have to come in and try to save their kids. It's silly. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's just not good. Like, there's nothing about this movie that I was like, well, this is fun. This is a good time. This is good time gang at the theater. It's also just not like offensively bad for me to just come down and I just didn't enjoy it. Like, it was just kind of tonally having problems because it couldn't decide if it wanted to be like a hard R action movie or if it wanted these teens to have like a PG-13 action journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, it felt like it wanted to be R, but it also wanted these kids to have like some sort of like Fast and Furious experience. So it never really hits the high octane moment that it should, that it could with Dave Bautista. But then again, I mean, he's backed by Bobby Cannavale. This is not like a team full of like action stars. This isn't like the Expendables. So the only person here who's really capable of making action sequences look great is Bautista. So the film just feels more intense than it needs to without necessarily having uh, matching itself tonally. Um, I didn't like the ending at all. Like, there's a reveal with a character that I was just like, come on now. Like, the plot is already kind of silly. Don't make it sillier. Please, please don't. Please stop. So it kind of lost me in the ending there. That's where I was like, this movie was like floating around the middle, and then a character like, you know, pulled off their mask and Scooby Dooed themselves and was like, "This is my secret. This is my truth." And I was like, "No, no, sit down." Just made the movie worse. Um, and I could kind of see that we were headed in that direction. I was like, "Please don't, please don't, please don't." I would have been in a screening with the director, and he would have been like, why do you keep mumbling, please don't?" I'd be like, "Did you do this? Are you are you gonna do that with this character? Please don't." Your movie is already somewhat silly. You don't need to just throw in the kitchen sink and be like, well, why not? When in Rome. Um, so, but I won't spoil it for you. I will let you hit that wonderful little twist at the end where they're like, aren't we so smart? Yes. No, 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 no. Trap House is just some like generic action movie that's on Netflix. Uh, I definitely heard somebody say this is better than the average. I was like, no, it's not. This could have been a Netflix original movie. um, it's not better than any of the original films that have hit Netflix, Amazon, Hulu. I don't know any of those services without much fanfare. So, I think it's better than In the Lost Lands, though. The thing is, though, that In the Lost Lands had so much more potential to it because of the story from George R. R. Martin. So, in comparison to like the other things Dave Bautista did last year, this actually ended up being the better one because it's also better than Afterburn. Afterburn also tonally has some really weird problems to it. I never got around to reviewing that, but I was just in the middle of like Oscar season. I had like 1,000 movies to review. So Trap House is fine-ish and then has an ending that made it not fine-ish. So um it's one of those things too where it's like if you know what you're getting into, you probably, if you're willing to accept the fact that there's some sort of absurdity in the plot, if you're like, well, it's really about DEA kids doing raids, not the DEA. They're trying to steal the money. So it's already sort of like not semi serious. so if you're giving it that kind of grace to say, yeah, you're probably going in thinking that already, except for the fact the ending is just kind of dumb. I gotta hate the ending to this. So I'm gonna give it a 5.2 out of 10. It's not like like the worst thing he's done this year. It's actually probably the best thing he's done in 2025. But yeah, this was not a good film still. Unfortunately made worse by the ending. I don't know, even with the ending, if they had left that out, it would have probably brushed fresh. Probably would have high rotten, like a 5.8, 5.9. But um unfortunately a choice was made towards the end and it lost about like a half point with me. Um so yeah. Anyway, Trap House. Check it out. Has audio description. Audio description was fine. It sounded a little like it's a British voice that I questioned. I was like, this. I could see this being AI. For anybody who has started to play around with these AI chatbots, there's a certain way and a certain sort of beat that this voice takes. Even though I've heard this narrator before, I was thinking there's nothing really specific about the tonality in this movie or the choice of narrator that matches anything having to do with stuff on screen. It's one of those things where this guy could even though he's a real person, could have his voice just uploaded to the cloud, to like sell his soul to some AI company, and they could just pop him in there, and you wouldn't have known that he was reading Trap House. Like, there's nothing really engaging about his thing. There's nothing really about like he knows what kind of movie he's watching or reading or anything. There's nothing really to match. It just kind of feels sort of out of place. So I don't think the two really worked well together. And just the way that he's reading and the inflections and everything just made me believe that while I'm sure he's still human and hasn't uploaded himself to the cloud, he could easily, it just reminded me how quickly and easily it would be for some of these 80 performers who we've heard on 1,000 different things to sell their voices to one of these companies. And then suddenly it's like, oh, is it AI? Because I'm pretty certain that's so and so's voice that we've heard before. And then it starts getting kind of negligible. So I'm all about like make it as human as possible. And I don't really think any of that happened here. But anyway, that's it. It's fine. It's whatever. The audio description is the writing was fine, and that's mainly where we want it to be. So that's it. I'll see you guys on the other side.